Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast. As I'm saying that, I don't remember the episode number, but you know it.
146.
There we go, you clicked on it. Are you sure 146? Yeah, why not?
Yes, 145 was the one without me. It was you and somebody else.
That's true. Who was I with? I was with somebody.
I don't know. There was some gaming going on.
That wasn't last week, was it?
No, last week was San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, it was a special edition. Holy Lord, what's happening?
Last week, and the week before that was 145, and I was in China.
I'm in a multiverse. All right, Larry here.
And Anthony here.
Well, what's going on, Ant?
Well, it's good that one of us knows like where we are with our show.
I don't know what's happening
apparently.
in life.
And I'm the one who's traveled different continents and alternate universes in San Diego and all kinds of stuff.
To be fair, I was out. I walked up to the post office. It's hot right now on Long Island. I may be a little punch drunk. It's just, it's already starting out to be a rough day.
Oh, lovely.
But it is what it is. So, hey, on a side note, last week I showed you that Final Fantasy VII on NES. So it is actually in the mail. I'll tell you that now.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
No problem. I think you're going to love it. I think it's going to be, I know you're going to play it, but definitely you're going to want to display it as well. You're going to like how it looks.
Oh, no. Not only do I plan on playing it, not only do I plan on displaying it, but I also plan on streaming it. That's one that I'm definitely going to be streaming. There's no question about that.
And it's not the whole game. I think it's only obviously, because they can't fit the whole game onto an NES cart, even with those graphics. So, but you'll enjoy it. I wanted to get my hands, but it was a little pricey, so I didn't pull the trigger. But they have, granted, it's just a ROM of the Transformers game, the game on the Famicom, that ridiculously difficult Transformers game. Mm-hmm. So, which I think I may have. I think you've actually got it for me on one of the trips to Japan. But I
probably did.
Someone put it on an NES cartridge. Cool. Same, whoever did the Final Fantasy I'm sending you. Made up the box. The box looks amazing, like a G1 looking box, like the toy. But the NES card itself is like this bright silver. This shiny silver. And I kind of wanted to buy it just to display it, because the cart and the box themselves looked awesome. But again, it was a little pricey, so I'm going to hold off on that.
Cool.
So that's on its way to you. Speaking of streaming, I know a lot of people may have said, because you definitely do a lot more streaming than I do, and I just kind of want to let the world know, because we are the best podcast for retro gaming that you can listen to. And the only podcast that will probably feature two 25-plus year friendship reminiscing about video games. Is that
it may also be the only podcast showcasing people on opposite sides of the coast.
Yes, and these are tags that I'm using for the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo for people to listen and to watch. Because I will single-handedly fight any other. No, I won't. I'm kidding. I like all of them, most of them, some of them.
There are a lot of great podcasts out there. I'm just happy. I feel like we offer something a little bit different because of our friendship, because of how far back we go, and because of our gaming history, together and separately.
Agreed, because, I will admit, and I don't mean this in a bad way, a lot of podcasts out there, a lot of YouTube, to me, they come off as almost too, them being professional. I don't think any of these people worked in the business. They do their research, they present a wonderful product, but to me, me and you, we've never admitted to knowing everything there is about video gaming, which I like. Yeah. And we're certainly not professionals in this business, the video game business or the podcasting business. But we bring that niche, I think, like you said, to the podcast world.
I think what you're trying to refer to is that we're flawed, and we're happy with our flaws.
Yes,
and we bring those with us whenever we do our show. And to be honest with you, I enjoy that because I feel like there's a more humanistic quality to it.
Absolutely. We are personifying something. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what either. But you know what? But that's okay. The cool thing about it is I enjoy talking about gaming. And not only do I enjoy talking about gaming on the podcast, I enjoy talking about gaming with one of my closest friends who I've known for most of my life.
Absolutely, yes. All those times ago on the yearbook committee. Too
many pikers.
I haven't heard that in a while. Holy cow! Whew. What I was
PTSD.
What I was gonna say.
Or is it PT? Is it PTPD? Post-traumatic piker disorder.
Good. I don't know. Either way, Tetris will solve that problem for you.
That is very true.
So again, my lack of streaming is really because the setup. I'm waiting, and when I get the Polymega, which I thought was August, I really hope is next month. Even though they keep saying fourth quarter, I'm really hoping next month because I got in on the first batch.
Right.
Once I get those, I'm going to be more than happy to then finally hook everything up, get it going, and then start the streaming. Then you'll hear my frustration in trying to beat some of these games I never played before. But that's what I'm looking forward to. And
for you and for me, granted, I haven't been streaming a whole lot lately. Life has been a little bit busy, but I personally plan on getting on a more regular schedule with my streaming so that there's like a set time and day that I'm going to do it, almost like any other show that we do. We drop our shows on Tuesdays. You're gonna start seeing me playing streaming at regular intervals, so that we can actually add that to our Retro Gamers podcast schedule.
And someone who doesn't have a number of podcasts they can count on one hand, that works out well for you. I will certainly try to do something along those lines. I can't guarantee, other than you will eventually see more of my side of it. And what's cool is the way I see it, and I know, actually, I got to admit, we're kind of talking about this for the first time here, and I kind of like doing this here right now. Nothing major, nothing inside, nothing like I'm leaving, nothing like that. But I feel like I want to gear a lot towards like some of the handheld stuff, like Game Boy games and stuff like that. I mean, I'll play NES and Super NES, where I know you'll probably like lean towards more with the NES, Super NES. I feel like maybe a little more, maybe like Zeldas or RPGs. I know you played RPGs more than I did, like a Final Fantasy or something. So you're definitely going to get a diverse streaming service, kind of, sort of, from us.
Yes, and I think that's what's great because we both bring our strengths to the table. Like you said, you're more handheld. I know you're more platformer.
Yes.
More Nintendo.
Yes.
More shooter.
Yes.
Shooter games. Like those are your things. Me, I'm also Nintendo, but I like I'm more puzzle-based games, RPGs, a little more action adventure. So I think between the two of us, we're kind of gonna cover all bases. I'm also good for cheesy games.
Yes,
so
me too.
So you'll see a bunch of those too.
It's funny you mentioned platformer. I downloaded. There was a game on the Switch. It was a free download. The Switch has a lot of good free downloads. They're like these quick, almost like cell phone games. They just converted for the Switch, but free. But it was one of these kind of like fort building games, defender games. And I tried playing it. It's just, I'm like, there's just too much happening. I guess I have trouble, like, unless it's just moving forward or moving vertical and shooting. I just don't like a lot into like my game, which is why I like my game simple, why I lean towards the Nintendo a lot. Because there's not too many like games where like, all right, first you got to select this card, then this card has this much power hits with a manga +7 roll, almost like a Dungeons and that's why I never really played Dungeons and Dragons, the old school D&D. But hopefully maybe I'll step out of that shell and try some of that, and maybe we can challenge each other as well in that fashion.
Yeah, I like the idea of challenges. I know Josh does too, since he always has us doing a bet every year. But
Josh's are ridiculous though, because he's going to put me in the poorhouse again for whatever it was this year.
I know we haven't talked about our 2019 bet because I think you kind of gave up in January when you walked in with the JVC XI.
You won it in the first 2 weeks. What the hell?
I know. I'm all set. But yeah, I mean, I think setting up challenges and things like that. I think we have a lot in store when it comes to streaming. So just for anybody who listens to us or watches us on YouTube, just be on the lookout for some streaming from us coming up soon. I'd probably say somewhere in the next, I want to say, couple of weeks, because I'm still finalizing my setup.
Yeah, you're good. You're going to be good to go. Yeah.
I'm going to be good to go probably within a couple of weeks.
All right. And like I said, with the Polymega, and speaking of the Polymega, I'm going to be a little rude and turn my back to the camera for a moment, because as you can see, you have me set up here and everything like that. Gorgeous. But I am starting to now collect the CD-based games. Let me get back in focus here. CD-based games for the CD systems on the Polymega. And I kind of want to show off some of the ones I've already bought. Without, nope, there goes everything. All right, everything's on the floor.
It all falls apart.
There you go. Son of a gun. And I'm really looking forward to it, because, Ant, that's why you are purchasing the Polymega, really because of that, the CD-based games. I know you're not doing the modules, but...
No. I bought it specifically, because I have the Retro Freak from Japan, I can already do all my cartridge-based stuff, so I don't need that part of the Polymega. Now, granted, if the Polymega base unit turns out to be as good as I'm hoping it is, I think I'll go back and probably buy the other modules. But for now, I'm sticking with the CD-based version, because between that and the Retro Freak, I have everything covered. And specifically, the reason why I want to do that is because I really want to not only preserve, but I also don't have the space to keep all of my systems out like I want to.
Yes.
So just being able to take the remaining 7 or 8 on my shelf and just leave 2, much better. So that's my main reason for getting the Polymega. It's also the main reason why I picked up the Retro Freak in Japan.
Yeah, kind of consolidate, which is good. So I want to show what I've got so far as CD-based games. Now, I was going to play the PlayStation 1. I have a book full of my PS1 games. I'm not going to bother with that. But just some of the cool stuff, and I've probably shown it before, so, forgive me. But a couple things... Son of a... I just broke that. All right.
Did you break a game?
Not the game, but I broke the case.
All right. Look, it's not the end of the world. You can actually buy cases on eBay. You should be fine. Do not worry.
I knew I should have just shown the box. TurboGrafx sidearms, which is pretty cool side scroller there. As I now daintily put it back into basically what they use an old PS2 game. This one here I thought was pretty interesting for the Sega Saturn. Blackfire. So.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so Blackfire. I'm going to go through these somewhat quickly. Because, Ant, while I'm doing this, I kind of want you to try and think of some good stuff to purchase. Here is a fun one. It's just a fun Sega Saturn, WrestleMania, the arcade game. Unfortunately, Bret Hart's on the cover, but, I deal accordingly.
Thankfully, Bret Hart's on the cover.
Sega CD, the inboxed 9er.
I still have Sewer Shark, yeah.
I loved Sewer Shark. I always had a problem powering up. Refueling, if you will. That
was always my problem. In fact, the one time, and I remember this very clearly, the one time that I remember powering up in Sewer Shark was the one time I beat the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And at the end of it, the game is only, I think, 25 minutes.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, because again, it's full motion video.
Mm-hmm.
So those didn't particularly go on for a long period of time.
Up next, because this looks good, and I've heard from a couple of people it's actually a good game on Sega CD, Hook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I thought that was, I don't know. I don't know if it plays like the arcade, but, it should be pretty cool.
You give it a shot.
Absolutely. Of course, my piece de resistance, Shining Force 3.
Shining Force 3 on Sega Saturn, which I also have with the booklet.
Yes, you do. This is cool only because I picked this up more for nostalgic purposes, because it's been a long time since I saw something in this box, which I think, again, also broke. But it's Nova Storm for the PlayStation, but in the old school big box.
I love the old big boxes, and when I do see them in stores, I try to pick them up. I have a few. Yeah.
So
very nice. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I got a handful. I got 4 games left. Again, some of these you saw. Mickey Mania, The Timeless Adventure of Mickey Mouse on Sega CD.
Since Disney is taking over the world right now, you might as well play all the Mickey games.
Star Wars Rebel Assault, also on Sega CD.
Which I also have.
And then previously shown Shining Force CD.
Which I do not have.
And Sonic.
I want it.
The original Sonic CD. Sonic Boom.
Arguably the greatest Sonic game.
I also picked up... it's only two back over there. Yeah, right? Star Wars Arcade for the Genesis 32X. I never owned a 32X.
Oh, I did very briefly.
I remember.
It was terrible.
You only had I think you only had Raw, right?
That's it. I bought Raw from Funko Land. It stunk, and I wound up trading it in.
So Star Wars Arcade on that. So my current situation is out trying to find, again, CD-based games, TurboGrafx games as well. I do have a handful of TurboGrafx games, and any games that just happen to pop into your head as far as some classics from the Sega CD that I should be on the lookout for.
Sega CD, I would definitely tell you to pick up Night Trap, no question, and not limited run Night Trap, the original Night Trap.
Yes.
You know, go back and get the original Sega CD version. Now that I think about it,
I am trying to find...
I now have an extra Night Trap.
For Sega CD?
Yeah, because Frankie found me the full version in the box. I have Night Trap, but I just have the CDs.
That's all right. That don't bother me. Yeah.
So I will. I will.
Oh, well, look at that. Very kind of you.
I didn't send your Comic-Con stuff yet, so I'll throw that in there.
Oh, very cool. I feel like I should thank Frankie as well.
Yeah, Night Trap was a great Sega CD game. Strangely enough, and I know maybe this is not your necessary cup of tea, Star Wars Chess on Sega CD.
No, I want that.
Insanely entertaining.
Yes.
Absolutely. I loved playing that. And I forgot the whole title for the game. Because
it was...
Something Presents Star
Wars Software Chess. Something. You're right. It was a very long title.
It was Something Presents Star Wars Chess. But let me tell you, that game was ridiculously fun. The little animations inside. And, when... I want to say it was... when Rich was here.
Yeah.
And we went to Game Dude. They had... Star Wars Battle Chess there, and I was going to buy it until I found Shining Force 3 on Sega Saturn, and then I was like, "Oh crap! Here goes all my money over here." The end.
Were they like the same price without saying the price?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Shining Force was a lot more expensive.
Which it should be. Understandable. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So once I dropped the money on Shining Force, I'm like, I can't justify Star Wars Chess.
Better than me.
Star Wars Chess, really fun. If you don't mind the full motion video kind of games, like the way Night Trap works and stuff like that, pick up Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Sega CD.
Yeah, because that's just like a fun episode to play.
Yeah, it's 5 episodes. I think it's the first 5 episodes of the show, if I'm not mistaken. And again, it's just the type of thing where it's like you have to press buttons when they appear on the screen quickly enough in order to keep the video moving.
Like Sewer Shark, and what was that road racing game? Road Mercenaries?
I do not remember.
I gotta remember. I used to play it a lot. So, and of course, which I'm having trouble finding. When I say finding, meaning like locally.
I know what you're gonna say.
Not on eBay. WWE Rage in the Cage.
WWF Rage in the Cage.
I loved WWE Rage in the Cage. And
I love WWF Rage in the Cage. 20 superstars, steel cage matches.
Full motion.
What?
Well, full motion, if you let it play a little bit, right? Then they come on the screen like to cut a promo on you or something?
No, what would happen is you could preview their finishing maneuvers when you were selecting people.
Yes.
And it would show you the video of that.
That's what it was. Okay.
But outside of that, it had the 16-bit raw basic graphics and animation. So and it was really good. And plus you had more, like Raw at the time had 12 guys in it, and Rage in the Cage had 20.
Yes.
So and at that time 20 was a lot for a wrestling game.
No, totally. I remember hearing about that, and like some of the guys, like the Nasty Boys were in it, IRS was in it. I'm like, look at some of these guys that are in here, and of course the Steel Cage.
And, of course, the Steel Cage, which made it really enticing. So, Rage in the Cage is definitely one you want to check out. I'm trying to think. Now I'm just trying to think of, like, other Sega CD games I have. So, like, I believe I have Dracula and Frankenstein as a 2-pack. But I don't remember those being very good.
Okay.
I picked up Sherlock Holmes. Because I love those, I love mystery kind of games, which are fun for me. Again, these were things I picked up on a whim. I've never played them, but I have them in my collection, so I plan on playing those. You could also give sports games a try on Sega CD.
Yeah.
I know I've got an NHL game. NHL. I don't remember which one. But.
I may do like I'm thinking about like NBA Jam. I see a lot. I may do that. So, but I may also because I got a good amount of Sega CD games now. I think I may want to start focusing on the Saturn. And of course, anyone listening, anyone watching, if you got some good picks for really Saturn, Sega CD, I don't think Neo Geo CD. I feel like it's going to be too expensive. The
PlayStation.
PlayStation's easy enough. Those are readily available.
CD.
The TurboGrafx CD, which again could be pricey, but a lot of those games are going to end up on the Mini anyway, so I'll look out on that. Let me throw this at you. I know I'm kind of jumping around, but let me throw this at you.
Well, that's okay. I had told you, like, coming on when we were doing our show today, I said I wanted to do a segment called Random Retro, where we just, I like us when we focus on one topic and go, but I also think we don't give ourselves enough opportunity to really just jump around the retro universe. I think this is fun.
I kind of thought we were going to leave that behind the curtain. That's why I was just trying to be like, let me think. Okay, so you and Frank both destroyed the fourth wall.
No. I was born to break the fourth wall, okay?
You and Frank are terrible with it.
Random Retro. It's Random Retro this week. That's what we're doing.
No, in all seriousness, yes. What the hell was I going to talk about now? Oh, yeah. So, all right, with the minis, NES, Super NES, Genesis, TurboGrafx, Commodore 64. Those are the 5 big ones. PlayStation 6, which I still swear
Commodore 64?
Yeah, I said Commodore 64. Did I?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Anyway, the minis. These mini systems that come out, right? So the games are on there, and the games are worthwhile, like they're good quality, and you technically own it from first party. But would that stop you from still buying the cartridge or the CD if you already own the game on one of these minis that I think you can consider like an original copy, kind of, sort of, because the original company's putting it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think if you own the minis, you own the games. You have rights to the games. So, in other words, if you were going to do something per se, because how we talk about emulation.
Yeah.
And how, downloading an emulator is perfectly fine. Downloading the ROMs are illegal. If you own these games on a mini, you purchase them. Therefore, you have the rights to them. Therefore, you have the rights to play them. So I think you're perfectly fine playing a ROM from it as well.
That's not at all what I meant, but here's what I meant.
I know, but that's where I went with it.
Okay, fair enough. What I'm saying is, would that stop you from still buying the cartridge if you saw it on sale?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Okay, that's what I was curious. That's what I was curious about. Yeah. Because, I was in Game On...
I was going to say, there are a bunch of games on my mini that I have on cartridge.
Yeah, and I'm talking to now, that probably was also before... you got the cartridges beforehand years ago, but now, when I was in Game On, we were talking, a bunch of us were talking, and we're even when we were talking about the TurboGrafx Mini coming out, and I'm like, you know what? Even though I've never owned a TurboGrafx, and I'm still gonna look to get the games, even though I've already have the Mini on pre-order, it's still not gonna stop me from wanting to buy the original cartridge or whatever it's called, card of these games, to get Bonk, to get Alien Crush, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
to still own. So because I was always worried, which it's going to happen in time, because the same thing happened with brick and mortar bookstores was happening, where eventually, because Stadia, everything's going online with the cloud, where 30 years from now, 50 years from now, probably this whole retro thing is going to go to the wayside, in my opinion. Again, long after we're gone. Well, not 30 years, but or 50. 40, 90. I'm not saying 90. But, it's not going to stop me from getting the cartridges still. And I'm I don't think you have anything to worry about, because when I was talking to Game On, because I feel like when the mini systems come out, it almost drives people to be like, you know what? I want that original system. I want those original games. Even though I'm going to pre-order the mini, I still want the original hardware.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, there's a reason why I still have 25 systems in my collection. I haven't gotten rid of them. I haven't sold them. If anything, obviously, I've been buying them back.
Yeah.
And then adding to the collection. I mean, my whole thing is I'm a collector now. With video games, I'm a collector. I'm not a hardcore collector where I'm running out and buying something every day.
I'm terrible.
Maybe every other day. But I'm a collector at heart. I would definitely want to keep them, no matter how many ways they re-release them. Even when, there's new stuff there's new stuff available on PlayStation 4 and Switch that I can download and stuff like that. It's like, it's great. I bought Night Trap for PlayStation 4 off of limited run games. However, I still wanted Night Trap on Sega CD because that was the original. So I'm always going to, and granted, it means I'm going to own multiple copies of the game, but I'm perfectly okay with that because, that's enjoyable to me as a retro gamer, as a retro collector.
Okay. I like it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that's what I got.
Well, how about there was something else I wanted to bring up in this segment too, because it made me think back to an NES game. But I've been playing Hollow Knight on the Nintendo Switch.
I meant to ask you that. I was online today and I saw you playing. You were playing Hollow Knight. You're like the third person I heard playing this game. How is it?
The game is fantastic. It got me to China and back a couple of weeks ago, which was awesome. Because when I travel, not only am I on 13-hour flights, but with the time difference, I sleep very, very little. I sleep like 2 or 3 hours a night. So there's lots of time in the hotel room where it's like, yep, it's 1 a.m. I got nothing to do. So pull out the Switch and start playing.
Awesome.
But I think Hollow Knight to me has been an absolutely stupendous game. I am having a blast with it. I'm also almost done, which is great. So I'm finishing it. In fact, I was playing it before we started recording because I'm like, I'm so close. So, but this is why I wanted to bring it up because it's a great platformer game. It runs like Metroid, where you're going, it's a side scroller and you're just going through this whole underground like system and all these different areas and stuff like that. And I kind of like the theme of it. It's really cool. It's got a lot. It's a little bit heavy when you think about the theme, even though it doesn't come across that way. But it basically is a metaphor for dealing with death. Oh. That's kind of that's kind of the base. That's kind of the basis of the story. But you're basically a little bug who's a knight, and you're fighting to free this area that's been kind of taken over.
Okay,
but. It plays, so it's got that Metroid style where you go, you side scroll through different rooms and you go up and down and all over the places. What I find intriguing about it is that I remember when I was a kid, I hated Metroid because
I wasn't crazy about it either.
Well, no, because here's what it was. I couldn't figure out where to go. It's like I would go a few screens and then I'm like, I'd go down and go back up, and then I'd go in circles, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing.
You weren't one to jot it down on paper. Like, you weren't making maps.
No, I wasn't drawing maps.
Neither was I.
I was just, I was just sitting there trying to figure it out. And it had gotten to a point where I'm like, and it was one of the reasons why I struggled with Zelda 2 Adventures in Link. Same reason. The dungeons were those side scrolls, and for some odd reason, I couldn't wrap my head around figuring out how to get through these areas. And then Metroid was an open world side scroller where you just basically go through everything. Hollow Knight is the same way. Now, I find it interesting that now as an adult, 30 years later since Metroid came out, I'm playing through a game similar to Metroid, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like it's just a blast. I'm having a blast with it. And now it makes me want to go back and play through Metroid.
I think that's also what even the new games are doing with us, because wanting to go back, wanting to finally play. Because also you got to admit, as a kid, you probably, maybe not you, I'm not saying you personally, but maybe just you didn't have the attention span. You didn't want to sit there for hours on end. You just kind of wanted to just kind of get through the game. I know that was me. I just kind of wanted to just get through the game, even though I never did. And just kind of put that down, let's play the next one. Put that down, play the next one. Kind of even like that today, which kind of stinks. Yeah. But a lot of games, though, now I'm starting to go back and playing because now I have a little more time. I have much more patience. And I feel like I can sit through and try and get through these games. Finally.
Yep.
Like Metroid or, a Zelda, even the newer Zeldas. I kind of want to go back and play.
Yeah, even Castlevania 2.
No. Some games are just meant to sit there and rot. Castlevania 2 is one of them.
No, it is not. Castlevania 2 is an excellent game, and one day you will appreciate it.
I'm going to try and delete it from the Castlevania collection.
Yeah, I think like on your deathbed, it's going to be like the priest is going to be giving last rites. Going to be like, "Do you have any regrets?" Castlevania 2.
Just give me one more shot. 5 more minutes, God. 5 more minutes. So
at which point God's like, "Yeah, I didn't like that game."
Yeah. I don't. Not everyone. Some people are just too fallible. Yeah. So it's. I think that's the beauty of what we're doing here as well with the podcast. It's bringing us back. Well, A, it's cost us a lot of money. And B, yes. It's got, this collection I have behind me, I really do want to. I think I am going to try and get through what I can through these games.
Yes.
Even some of the mods and some of the hacks and everything that I have.
Yeah.
So.
No, those are fun. Those are fun too. I think the mods are good. The hacks are good. Gaming in general, homebrews, they're all fun. And it's really enjoyable. And yes, it's great to have a collection. It's even greater to say that, like, I've beaten all of the games in my collection. Now, at this point, I think it may be impossible. Like, I've cleared 500. So I don't think I can safely say that I'm going to get through them all as I continue to buy more.
Well, you had that one guy who did. That one guy who beat every NES game ever made.
I know.
Documented it somewhere.
Right. And you know what? There's hope for us. So we can do it. And we can get through it. We just have to do the work.
Totally. And I forgot, if I remembered it, I apologize. I would give the group a shout out. But there's one of the groups on Facebook who's kind of doing that, saying, hey, look, let's keep track. Play games, complete them, keep track. I don't know, maybe it's something that we'll try and do. We'll definitely keep a tally. And we'll keep it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they're doing NES specifically. Yeah. But yeah, I think it would actually be kind of fun, not necessarily to mimic that, but just to keep track of all games in general that we're beating. Like right now, like I'm on the cusp of beating Hollow Knight. Mm-hmm. So like I would point out mission accomplished. I beat Hollow Knight. This is great. So one game I'll never beat is Dead by Daylight because it's endless and online.
Well, that's different. So, I forgot the rules that he did on games like that are open-ended. One more thing on my end here, just to throw out to you, is... and it just escaped my mind.
Were you going to commit to playing Castlevania 2 again?
No, not at all. I was going to ask you a question about gaming and beating games or something, but you know what? It's just literally said, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to another podcast.
I was talking about Hollow Knight. So
you were, and I don't
know where you lost it.
It was something to do with completing games, beating games. Nope, I'm never going to remember what it was.
Do I have a track record of them? Do I have a list? Is that what you were wondering?
No, it's not. Describing things is not going to help it. That's just me being me.
All right, so Larry had a senior moment, so we're just going to forget that, we're just going to forget he even had a question.
Mind is terrible. It works terrible.
Well, your mind is basically like a broken Atari.
It really is. The things I forget. I should be checked, but whatever.
Well, you should be checked in more ways than one. But that's a whole other story. But I think, again, just based on everything we talked about and everybody who listens and watches, it's like, give us a shout out. Talk to us. Like, what are some of your favorite games on the Sega CD, on the Sega Saturn? Are you excited about the Polymega? Have we done anything to sway you towards it?
Hope so.
Because I was going to say, because we talk about it ad nauseum at this point.
For like 2 years now.
I know, for 2 years, but you know what? It's getting exciting now. Yes. Because I got to see it play in person and everything like that. So are you guys excited about the Polymega? If not, what are some of the CD-based games you guys really enjoy? What are current games that you enjoy that remind you of older games? Because, like I said, Hollow Knight to me is like, they got the idea from Metroid originally. And,
I remembered.
See what happens when you keep talking?
Absolutely. Have you ever gotten to a point in a role-playing game, because those specifically, you've gotten very far in the game, but you haven't played it in a very long time, and you're like, forget it, I'm just deleting my save, and I'm starting over?
I have to do that with Final Fantasy VIII. I got to disc 4.
Oh God!
And we were on our ship on the way to the final confrontation.
Yeah.
And I stopped.
Wow.
I just got to a point where I'm like, I'm not really interested in this anymore, and I literally stopped right at the end of the game. I guarantee you, probably another few days of playing, and it would have been done. Now I don't remember the story at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because I want to go back and I want to play Super Paper Mario, which was a great game on the Wii. Fantastic game on the Wii. And but I'm so far into it that I don't remember what's happening. And I haven't played it in for a long time. I'm just going to be like, forget it. I'm just going to delete it and start over. And Breath of the Wild, I barely scratched the surface. So that's all I wanted to ask if you ever did that. So I'm going to be doing that a lot.
All right. I will not be, though. I'll be honest with you. Most of the games that I do start, I finish.
Excellent. Well, good for you. And like Anthony was saying, hit us up on the Facebook page. Let us know, some of the games that you love, some of the games that you're looking forward to. Give me recommendations, please, because I have this money that is just sitting in my bank account that I need to get rid of, apparently. And let Anthony know if he did persuade you in his little video which is a tremendous video, might I add, our #1 video, about the Polymega when he saw it hands-on, and whoever else was talking on that video. And just let us know in the comments, in the descriptions, and we will be back in a moment. All right, folks, coming up, if you are in the tri-state area, especially if you're on Long Island and you're into retro games, August 10th and 11th at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Garden City, New York, will be the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo 2019, and this year we have a table.
We do, and this year I will not be there.
No, unfortunately, you will not.
Sorry.
But that's okay. That's okay. You're going to be there in some way, shape, or form. We are going to try and Skype you in if we can. So we'll see.
Yes, I'm actually looking forward to attending digitally. We're gonna prove that that 2019 you can actually have somebody show up somewhere. Through the magic of the interwebs.
I'll walk you around the floor, so it's almost like you're there.
That way I can go shopping.
Exactly.
Buy that for me. Buy that for me.
It's going to be a ball. Buy your tickets now because it is cheaper in advance. With us there, we're going to live stream. At some point, we're going to podcast, definitely. Yes. I'm going to have 1 or 2 monitors there. I'm going to have some of the clone systems there. And just to have some fun, if you want to take a break, hopefully our table's in a good spot. If you want to just maybe take a break, maybe test out the games you bought. And if they don't work, go back and demand a refund. So
that's right. Yeah, no, it would stink to get all the way home to find out the games you purchased aren't working.
That's why sometimes I find it a little difficult to buy, like from a flea market. But somewhere like this is more reputable because the vendors are reputable.
Very true.
There's going to be a lot of speakers there. There's going to be some tournaments. There's going to be pinball tournament. There's going to be tabletop gaming there. And as always, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Playable Characters Podcast. They will be there, and I'm going to do my best to try and hook our wagon to them because they were in Forbes magazine. So if we can, if we can somehow get a little bit of a rub off of them, that would be tremendous. But they are good people, and they're doing a live show there as well. I don't know who they're interviewing though.
Nice.
Last year they interviewed Mega Man from the cover of the original Mega Man game. So
nice.
I'll try and beat some games while we're there. But check it out, liretro.com, August 10th and 11th, Cradle of Aviation, Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. We will see you there.
All right, Larry, it's time for some news. I think it's been a few weeks. I would like to say that there's a ton of news out there right now, but retro-wise, there really isn't. There are a few things going on. One bigger one that we haven't really, we didn't really dive into that much, except for the initial announcement of it. And that one is the announcement of the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. We did find out about it. We reported on it, but now there's been more development because now we know the games that are going to be on there.
Yes, all 50 games have been announced. I believe it's 24 TurboGrafx 16 games, 26 PC Engine games.
Very nice.
And what's going to be cool, I think, is the decision that some of the PC Engine games that are Japanese are going to retain the Japanese. Like it's not going to be translated or anything.
They're not translating.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some of them, actually 5 of the titles. Oh, maybe this is what they meant. 5 of the titles are going to be available in both English and Japanese versions. Maybe that's what they meant. So,
cool.
But let's run through it real quick. There's 50 games. I got the list here in front of me, and only 1 game is going to be exclusive to North America, and 1 game will be exclusive to Japan. And we're going to get into those right now. Why won't it load? There it goes. Okay, so TurboGrafx 16, in no particular order, but it will be in alphabetical. Air Zonk, Alien Crush, Blazing Lasers, Bomberman 93, Bonk's Revenge, which is interesting.
Ooh,
not Bonk's Adventure. Kadash, I don't remember that one. Chu Man Fu, I've always loved that title. Dungeon Explorer, JJ and Jeff, Lords of Thunder, Military Madness, Moto Rotor, Newtopia 2, New Adventure Island, which I cannot wait to play.
I can't wait to play Newtopia.
Oh, yeah?
It's rated one of the best games on the system.
Sweet. Venture Island is one of the series. I love that series, so that's going to be cool. Ninja Spirit, Parasol Stars, Power Golf, Psychosis, R-Type, Soldier Blade, Space Harrier, Victory Run, and Ys Book 1 and 2.
Nice.
So this is TurboGrafx, PC Engine. I don't know if you have the list in front of you.
I do not have the list in front of me.
Here we go.
Listening to you.
Here we go. PC Engine, Akumajo, Dracula X, Chino Rondo, Castlevania
Very
Rondo
nice.
of Blood, Aldines, I can't even pronounce half of these, A Pair Gate Ball, I don't even know what these games are, Bomberman 94, Bomberman Panic Bomber, Cho Anika, Ghouls and Ghosts, Dungeon Explorer, Fantasy Zone, Jinja Fuki Desteu Sapphire, Gradius.
That's the best one.
Gradius 2, Joseki Necromancer, oh boy, China Warrior, Military Madness, but the PC Engine version, so we are getting a couple of doubles here. Newtopia 2, oh, I get it, okay. Ninja Gaiden, Bonk's Adventure, there it is.
There it is.
The North American and European exclusive, Salamander, you may know it here as Life Force.
Nice.
Snatcher, Star Parodier, Super Darius, Super Momotaro Densteu 2, Superstar Soldier, the exclusive to Japan, Tokimeki Memorial, and Ys 1 and 2. Again,
nice.
Some games will be in English on the TurboGrafx 16 side. Their Japanese versions will be the PC Engine side. That's why there were a couple of doubles there. But this is a strong lineup. It is, I think, a very... I can't think of a TurboGrafx game that I've heard of that's missing from this.
Splatterhouse.
Okay, 1. No, they just... Splatterhouse, I feel like, was on a collection just recently.
No, Splatterhouse was on a collection. It's just not going to be on this collection.
Yeah, which is... Well, that's fine. Like, it's not like they haven't released it recently. What collection was it on?
I don't know, but it was a third-party game. That's probably why it's not showing up here. But even still, for the games that they do have listed, like, again, I heard a lot of the heavy hitters on there, like Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge, Newtopia, Salamander, like you said, Rondo of Blood. I mean, there are some really heavy hitters on there, and it's definitely just for those games alone. Also, Ys 1 and 2. It's just this is definitely a collection I want to have.
No, totally. You know, Tokimeki Memorial, the Japanese exclusive, is a dating simulation video game. So
now I definitely need this.
Very cool lineup. It has been announced that a system will be $99.99 US. It will come with 2 controllers. Up to 5, though, you can use with the multi-tap that you can buy separately. Of course, it's going to run on USB Micro B, power-wise, and it is set to release March 19th, 2020.
Very nice.
That's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, no, it's definitely going to be good. And again, it'll give us an opportunity to play a lot of games that we never had the opportunity to because neither of us had a PC Engine or a TurboGrafx 16.
Yep, totally. And I like as well how some of the games, like Rondo of Blood, will be the original CD-ROM version of the game.
Yes.
Which is probably the next to Symphony of the Night, probably the best Castlevania game that's out there, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Agreed. All right.
Very cool. Moving on from that, I'll throw something out that I read.
Sure.
And it's Nintendo Switch related. And we recently got the release to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Doom. Doom is 25 years old. Holy cow.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Bethesda has released Doom, Doom 2, and Doom 3 all on the Switch. They're all available for you in their eShop to purchase. Very interesting note, though, about them is that if you purchase Doom and Doom 2, just 1 and 2, not 3, if you purchase 1 and 2, you actually need a Bethesda account to play them.
Interesting.
Which is weird. Yeah, very weird, because the third one you can just play.
Yeah.
But the first two, you need to actually have a Bethesda account, and I don't know why.
That's weird. I mean, that's probably just a free sign-up, but still.
But still, you know what I mean? It is interesting, and I don't know if it's Bethesda's trying to get like an email list together because they're about to make another announcement, maybe another Doom. Well, I don't know. But
Doom Eternal is coming out, so
Doom Eternal is coming out, and maybe that's what it is. It's just for marketing purposes. But I found it interesting though that you can play Doom 3. They don't really care if you play Doom 3. It's like, we don't care. Don't sign up.
Well, Doom 3 was also more, with the newer consoles anyway at the time. Sure. But it's pretty cool. Doom and Doom 2 are both only $4.99 US dollars, so very inexpensive. Yep. Doom 3, which is more graphically powerful, but still only $9.99. Not too shabby. And Doom is the game, to me, I mean, you got your Wolfenstein, but to me, Doom is what put first-person shooters on the map.
Yes,
so,
that it did.
Very cool. And it's funny, I was looking at it. Well, yeah, Wolfenstein as well. I was going to buy this. I may still. This is one of those games where I'm like, for $5, maybe I should just download it. I do have Doom on the Xbox 360, so I'll probably, by the end of the day, I'll probably purchase it. But for now, still on my wish list.
You'll buy it.
Okay, so I said this a couple weeks ago. I will give credit where credit is due when I need to. As much as the views and opinions of Larry Mormon and More365 are those of only Larry Mormon and not the Retro Gamers podcast or any other podcast on this network, I think Limited Run is a terrible company. With that being said, Anthony does not. I will defend that. Anthony loves Limited Run. Because
Anthony got what he ordered.
Because he likes to live on the edge. But Limited Run is, again, doing amazing things with their deal with the devil, and they were able to secure the Star Wars rights to some of the old games. We talked about previously the original Star Wars games that they released on NES and Game Boy in the blister packs like the toys were. So and of course, if you didn't have the 34 seconds that they were available to pre-order, because that's what Limited Run does, then you're going to be SOL. Be that as it may, they are putting out now the next wave of Star Wars games. I know they also did Bounty Hunter as well, but these blister packs are with the original NES and Game Boy games. They're putting out the new set now, The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
So, I got to admit, what they're putting together is very cool. We got both the NES cart and the Game Boy cart are red. Almost like, not a blood red, but just like a deep red. They come, I don't know if these come in a blister pack like the other ones did, but they're going to come with a commemorative coin, individually numbered certificate of authenticity, posters, pins, like replica pins, art cards, as this push for Limited Run, as they say, forever physical. So it's pretty cool. And a manual. Does it come in a thing? No, again, I can't confirm.
Well, no, I mean, for Empire Strikes Back, the game should come in carbonite, actually.
That is true. Maybe that red's supposed to be carbonite. I don't know. So those are coming out. Very cool looking. They retail for $85 each for this grouping. Yeah. So what they're also putting out now, this game I loved, and I got to admit, it kind of makes me want to buy this third party from someone other than Limited Run, but Shadows of the Empire on the N64.
That game is great. I love that game. I still own that game.
Game was phenomenal. This one will be on a transparent purple shell. Yes. It will also come with certificate of authenticity, game manual, cards, posters, coin, an enamel pin that looks like the cartridge. Again, this one's going to be $90 for the N64 cart. Again, I mean, I hate them. I wish they would go under. But these games they're doing tremendous stuff with these Star Wars games.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. And I have to say, I'm very impressed. I did not purchase the Star Wars one. I won't purchase the Empire Strikes Back, only because budget issues. I can very easily go in the hole for these things.
Well, he said you own it as well, so.
Yeah, but I already own these, which is great. So.
And then if you want to play these games as well on your original systems, which you would, Hyperkin has bent over backwards, and they unfortunately have signed a deal with Limited Run, again, my opinion only, to make wireless controllers for the NES and Super NES.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they're actually Bluetooth. You put the receiver right in the original console, and then the cartridges themselves are like Hyperkin. They really did good with their controls. I like how they feel, very ergonomic or whatever. But these, there's a blue NES controller, there's a red NES controller, and then there's like a pink Super NES controller. But unfortunately, they say Limited Run on them. But the controllers are really good, and you can buy those as well. But yeah, Limited Run, I hate you. But, man, I got to give you credit for these Star Wars games.
Limited Run, you're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
Friend of mine at work, I think he said he ran off. He took a break. He's like, I got to go. I'm like, what, the Limited Run? He's like, yeah. He comes back. He's like, I think I probably spent about $700 because he bought multiple copies, and he plans on, selling them. You know, obviously he's going to try and flip them. So I'm going to see what I can do. I'll pay him more money than what he bought. I have no problem paying him more money to see if I can get some copies of these.
Nice. Well, let me know how that works out for you.
I will.
Meanwhile, moving on. And this is more current news, but Nintendo has been in a little bit of legal trouble lately. With their Switch. And this is the dreaded Joy-Con drift issue.
Yes.
And for those of you who have a Switch and have not experienced this, I experienced this about a month after I got my Switch. And at the time, because it was still under warranty, I had to send my entire Switch back, not just the Joy-Con that wasn't working, but I had to send my entire Switch back for them to fix it. And I was without the Switch for a month. Mm-hmm. But the idea is that your Joy-Con, your characters will drift on screen even though your Joy-Con isn't being activated by you.
Yeah.
So what was going on was... people who were having this issue after the warranty expired were sending their Joy-Cons in, and Nintendo was charging them to fix it. Eventually, a bunch of people got together, got a lawyer, and they said, hey, wait a minute, you know what? These things were defective from you guys. You shouldn't be charging people for it. And now Nintendo has graciously agreed to fix the Joy-Con drift issue for everybody for free. And if you were charged for it, they will give you a refund.
That's interesting,
Yes. So if you did, and I'm assuming the refund is going to be eShop credit or something.
No,
I can't imagine.
Be.
I would hope it's a refund. So anyway, if you had a Joy-Con drift issue with your Switch and you had it fixed by Nintendo and they charged you for it, look into this because you can get your money back for this issue.
Did you pay?
No, because it was only a month in of the warranty.
So, this drift issue thing, I know it's like on Nintendo, everyone's getting on Nintendo. It happens with control. I have a drift issue on the Xbox One X. Every time I play PUBG and I pull up my map, the cursor just magically starts moving on its own. It's just the sensitivity of these controllers. Look, I'm not saying that Nintendo is right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what happens with the type of technology that we have with some of these controllers. So it's not just a Nintendo thing. I think it's just a analog controller thing, but it's good for Nintendo that they are doing this.
Well, and I appreciate you defending Nintendo.
No, I'm not defending Nintendo. I'm defending the technology.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't a technology issue. It was the way that they put the thing together. Because having a random Joy-Con drift issue is one thing, but like this thing has gone rampant among a large number of people. That's why it became a case. Because if it was just a handful of people, it's like, well, things are going to get defective over time. Yeah. There's nothing we can do about that because controllers break. I was like, it's the fact that so many people were having the exact same issue. That's when it actually became a production problem on their end.
Yeah, I get that part. It's probably a lot of the first run. I mean, I got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 4 pairs of Joy-Cons, so I have 8 Joy-Cons. Yes, and actually I pre-ordered the 2 new pair of Joy-Cons, the new colors. So those will be coming. Yeah, apparently I'm collecting Joy-Cons now. But
I still have my original 2, and that's it.
Well, I had the gray Joy-Cons. Obviously, they came with the system, and I started experiencing that left Joy-Con issue, which instead of just sending it back to Nintendo, I just spent another $80 and just bought a brand new pair because I didn't want to wait. And that worked out fine. And in the long run, it turns out well because they're mostly all different colors. Because that's my OCD kicking in if other people come over. So, what I'm saying is, again, good for Nintendo. Xbox did the same thing. They were having issues. They started repairing stuff for free. So, hopefully, even though I didn't hear anything from Nintendo first party, did Nintendo officially announce this?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, because for a little while, just people were assuming.
No. They are fixing it in North America. I believe they've also announced that they're going to be fixing it in Latin America.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, fair enough. So, go out, get your Joy-Cons fixed, or just buy a new pair.
Or get your refund if you already have paid for it.
That too. All right, cool. Yeah. So, let's go back to TurboGrafx just for a moment, because for those of you who have purchased or will be purchasing the TurboGrafx module for the Poly Mega, it's actually going to come preloaded with 5 games, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. So actually, it's almost like 5, 6, 7, almost like 8 games because some of them are both North American and Japanese versions.
Okay.
So we got, and a lot of these are on the Mini anyway. Moto Rotor, Moto Rotor 2. Double Dungeons, Shockmaster, and Dragon Egg.
Nice.
Now, I've never played Dragon Egg. I've never played Moto Rotor 2. I have played Moto Rotor, Double Dungeons, and Shockmaster. Shockmaster.
Okay.
I knew I was going to say that. Shockman. All good games. Very cool. Right out of the box. You're going to be able to play those games.
Nice.
Something to look forward to on top of all the other games. You can just pop right into the Poly Mega. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Just a quick one.
I was going to say, I think that's all the news I had. I'm just flipping through my stuff.
I got a couple other ones.
I was going to say, I didn't have a lot of news.
No, that's all right.
The only other thing I can tell you, recent news also is that Fire Emblem, the new Fire Emblem game dropped on the Switch. Last week. So cool. If you are a Fire Emblem fan, Fire Emblem 3 Houses is now available.
You know what? I do want to, not as much news, but I want to take the rest of the podcast real quick because we're starting to come to an end anyway. We really haven't had a chance to comment on it. I know it's newer stuff, but I still want to comment on it. The Nintendo Switch Lite.
Yes.
Was announced. And
I thought we did talk about it a little bit.
Did we talk about it? Because, kind of like the idea of actually, is this for everybody?
Yes. You went on a bit of a mini rant, I believe, on an episode a couple weeks ago, like a few weeks ago when it was first announced, about how people are kind of attacking it and everything like that. And our arguments were actually the same, where it's like it's catering to a specific audience. It's catering to a specific handheld audience. I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine who's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for the Switch Lite to come out because it's cheaper. And I told him, I said, yeah. I go, do you understand? You're not going to be able to hook it up to your TV. You can only play in handheld. His response was, he's like, I have no problem with that because I love playing my games handheld too. So again, it's just one of those things. Cool. If you love playing handheld games, you're not worried about hooking up to your TV, you're all good.
All right, cool. I forget which rants I go on, so I tend to black out.
You go on many.
So the last one I want to mention then is this is very cool. You maybe seen them in like Target and Walmart and stuff, like these little mini arcades. They're called My Arcade, little ones. So new ones are coming out. Contra.
Ooh,
the NES,
I like that.
The NES Contra, might I add? Not the terrible arcade Contra, but the NES Contra.
What's so terrible about the arcade Contra?
It's just, I mean,
it had cutscenes.
It did, but then so did the Famicom version.
Very true.
So the little tiny stand-up arcade, I think will only have Contra 1.
Okay.
Contra. They're also going to put out kind of like a handheld version. I mean, they're both technically handheld, but like a portable type looking one called a Pocket Player, and that will have both Contra and Super C.
Nice.
So pretty cool. Just little fun things to have, especially if you collect these little guys. So pretty cool.
Nice.
Oh, excuse me. And of course, they are portable. So that's the biggest part of that.
Really fun. You can add it. You can add them to your Rainbow Bright collection.
I gotta stop playing that. Actually,
I would love to see you figure out a way to live stream that game.
Well, there's no output, so that's not happening.
No, I know.
There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Just put your phone over it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and I think with that, unless you have anything else, I think we'll start to bring this in.
No, I think we can wrap this up. We're good to go.
Time to bring it into port. So another wonderful episode here. What do we got happening? Again, if you're in the Long Island area, come check out the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. We will be there.
Yep. Next weekend, I will be at a horror convention called Midsummer Scream.
Oh, cool.
And I will be meeting the majority of the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
And they just completely unrelated, but on a side note, they started to announce some of the guests for Chiller Theater in October. So they're doing a massive Warriors reunion, like nine actors and actresses. They are doing an Airplane reunion.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're doing a Revenge of the Nerds reunion.
Even better. Holy cow.
I'm like, Ogre, I'm there.
That's awesome.
No Jefferson Darcy, though. Not yet, at least.
Aww.
So, but with that being said, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Retro Gamers Podcast. Email us at, email at theretrogamers.com. And we got any other social media? Where can they hear us? Where can they listen? Where can they watch?
You guys can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Amazon Alexa, Spreaker, iTunes. You name it, we're on there. Spotify, we're on there too. You can watch our episodes on YouTube. Just look up Retro Gamers Podcast. Again, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Retro Gamers Podcast.
And of course, check us out on Podcoin. You might as well get some points for listening to podcasts. It's nothing. You're not doing anything different than just earning some points. So check us out on Podcoin. And with that, I think we'll call it a week, shall we?
We shall.
All right, Ant. Have a good time there at Screamfest or wherever you're going to.
Midsummer Scream, thank you very much.
All right, sweet.
And you have a wonderful week. Please try and finish a game.
We'll see. I'm going to Game On today, so we're going to see what happens.
Okay, please don't spend all of your money.
And with that, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.